In the old town of Al-Marwa, where narrow alleyways twisted like hidden trails, there was a boy named Zayd. Zayd felt frustrated with his life. His room was cluttered, his grades were slipping, and his days felt like an endless loop of uncompleted tasks and stress. One chilly evening, as the town was covered in fog, Zayd took a different route home and noticed a faint glow coming from an alley he hadn't seen before. Intrigued, he ventured down the alley and stopped in front of a small shop that seemed as old as the town itself. Its sign, barely visible through layers of dust, read, "The Habit Shop. Only for those who seek true change." Zayd's heart beat faster. Despite the eerie feel of the place, he pushed open the creaky door. The interior was dimly lit, and the air smelled faintly of old books and herbs. Behind a wooden counter sat an old man with piercing eyes and a mysterious smile. "Welcome, Zayd," the old man said, as though he had been expecting him. "Are you ready to learn the path to greatness?" Zayd hesitated, both nervous and curious. "Yes, but how did you know my name?" The old man's eyes twinkled. "I know the names of everyone who truly seeks change. But understand, the path is not easy. To start, you must take this." He handed Zayd a small, worn note with a single instruction. "Make one small change today. Return tomorrow if you succeed." With a lingering sense of mystery, Zayd nodded and left the shop, clutching the note in his hand. That night, Zayd wondered how such a simple instruction could possibly lead to greatness. But he decided to follow the note. He looked around his room, full of clothes and books scattered everywhere. "I'll start by clearing my desk," he thought, making a small but deliberate effort to put his books in order. The next day, he returned to the habit shop, feeling a strange sense of satisfaction. As he entered, the old man looked up, pleased. "You have taken your first step. But remember, small changes lead to great ones, only if you're consistent. Now, try something more." The old man handed him another note. "Continue for 3 days without fail, then return." Zayd was determined, but the task felt more challenging than he had expected. Each night he tidied up a little more, adding one small task to his routine, like folding his clothes or clearing his bedside table. On the third day, he returned to the habit shop, feeling proud. "Good," the old man said. "Now, your next task lies outside these walls. Follow the instructions carefully." Zayd opened the note, which this time read, "There's a hidden journal in the library of Al-Marwa. Find it, and it will reveal your next lesson." Zayd's curiosity was fully piqued now. A hidden journal? He headed to the town library, eager to uncover whatever secrets lay ahead. The library was quiet and nearly empty when Zayd arrived. He searched through the shelves, unsure where to start. After what felt like hours, he noticed a book with a worn leather cover, sticking out slightly from the row. He pulled it out, and inside he found a smaller hidden journal titled "The Path to Greatness." Flipping through the pages, he found it was full of messages written in different handwriting, each note a piece of advice or wisdom. One line caught his eye: "To change who you are, change what you do daily." As he read on, Zayd realized each page was filled with insights on building small habits, making consistent changes, and envisioning who you want to become. There were stories of others who had followed similar paths. Some had succeeded, while others had given up. Zayd couldn't shake the feeling that the journal was left just for him. Inside the back cover, he found a single clue for his next task: meet at the river's edge at sunrise. The next morning, Zayd rose before dawn and made his way to the river. The air was cool and quiet, the only sounds being the soft trickle of water. When he arrived, He found the old man standing there, waiting. "Why have you come here, Zayd?" the old man asked. I want to learn. I want to change," Zayd replied earnestly. The old man nodded, then handed him another note. "To keep going, you must learn the art of discipline. Do not miss your habits for the next week. Return if you succeed." Each day, Zayd tried his best to follow his small routines, keeping his room tidy, studying for just 5 minutes, and even adding a short walk each morning. But one evening, he felt tired and decided to skip his routine. A wave of disappointment washed over him. The next morning, he dragged himself back to the shop, feeling defeated. The old man listened quietly to Zayd's struggles and finally said, "Mistakes happen, Zayd, but remember, never miss twice. Forgive yourself and return to your path. It's consistency, not perfection, that brings success." Feeling renewed, Zayd continued his habits, now mindful that it was okay to slip up, as long as he got back on track. One evening, as Zayd was completing his new habit of going on a walk, he noticed a small pendant lying on the ground near the path. It was engraved with strange symbols and looked valuable. Curious, he picked it up and took it to the habit shop. The old man's face grew serious when he saw it. "Ah, you have found the pendant. It belongs to a friend of mine who followed this path before you. He lost it when he strayed from his habits. To return it to him, you must journey to the mountains. But beware, the journey will test your commitment to change." Zayd's heart raced. "I'm ready," he said. And so, he set off the next morning, with the pendant around his neck as a reminder of his goal. The path to the mountains was steep, and Zayd was tempted to give up many times. But he remembered the power of small steps, so he broke the journey into shorter goals. He told himself to just keep going for another hour, then another, until finally he reached a small cabin where the pendant's owner lived. The man, older now but with a look of recognition, took the pendant with tears in his eyes. "Thank you, Zayd. I see you're learning the secrets of the habit shop. Remember, greatness isn't achieved all at once. It's built by small, consistent actions and by staying on the path, even when it's hard." After returning to Al Marwa, Zayd continued his journey with a new sense of purpose. He felt more confident and capable than ever. But one day, he faced an unexpected test. His final exams were fast approaching, and stress began to creep back in. Despite everything he had learned, he found it difficult to keep up his habits, and the clutter began to pile up again. Doubt filled his mind. Desperate, he returned to the habit shop one last time, where the old man greeted him with a knowing look. "It seems you've reached the hardest part of all, Zayd, staying strong when challenges arise. You must remember why you began this journey in the first place." The old man handed him one final note, which read, "In moments of struggle, remember the vision of who you want to become. Hold that image close and let it guide you." With renewed determination, Zayd returned home and refocused on his habits. He studied each day for just a few minutes longer, tidied his room, and stayed disciplined. On the day of his exams, he felt calm and prepared. He knew he had done everything he could, one small step at a time. Years later, Zayd looked back on his journey with gratitude. The habit shop had given him more than a cleaner room or better grades. It had taught him the true power of small, consistent actions and how to stay on the path, no matter the obstacles. He never saw the old man again, but he carried the lessons with him, passing them on to others who, like him, sought a path to greatness. And in his heart, he knew the truth. Anyone could walk the path to greatness if they were willing to take it one step at a time. The secret to success was hidden not in a single leap, but in a series of small, deliberate steps, the kind that could change a life.